Imagine stepping into a theater in 2026 and finding yourself at the end of a universe you didn't know existed. What you discover in White Snake Afloat is not just a myth. It is a masterclass in thematic writing. The screenwriters have re-engineered a 1,000-year-old legend using the visual language of geometry and the biological language of the human drive. Look closely at the conflict. It is written in shapes. The antagonist, the monk Fahai, is defined by the circle. His golden bowl and his prayer beads are not just religious symbols, they are closed loops of logic. Narratively, this represents a world where characters are trapped by fate and tradition. A cage of perfect order that refuses to allow for change or new life. This is the geometry of stagnation. But notice how the heroes fight back. They use the line. They don't use swords or brute force. They use the acupuncture needle and the jade flute. This is a precise writing choice. The needle represents the precision of healing, the ability to find the exact pressure point to break a cycle. The flute represents the directed breath of expression, turning air into a straight melodic force. These tiny human lines are the only things sharp enough to puncture the monk's rigid, circular dogma. Now, consider the characterization of the snake itself. Through the lens of Dr. Helen Fisher's research, you realize the snake is the literal manifestation of romantic love. Fisher defines love not as a soft emotion, but as a focused drive. A neurological laser beam evolved to focus all of our energy on one specific partner to ensure the survival of the next generation. In the wild, a human infant is helpless. The drive, romantic love, is the biological glue that keeps parents together long enough to ensure that life continues. In this script, the snake's coiling, unstoppable body is that drive of romantic love. She is the lion that overrides the noise of the world, refusing to be looped back into the monk's circle. The writing adds a final critical layer through Blanca's sister. She represents the voice of pragmatism. She argues that the hero is too weak to protect her. She is looking for utility. She is looking for a resume. This is where the film challenges you. Have we become like the sister? Have we traded the focused drive of romantic love for the logic of security? Blanca's refusal to listen is the film's moral center. By choosing the weak man, the script reinforces a hard truth. The drive of romantic love is a biological imperative, one that must ignore the logic of safety in favor of the bond. Because without that bond, there is no future. The future cannot be born inside a perfect circle of tradition or a pragmatic circle of realism. It requires the snake, the messy, focused line of romantic love. The needle finds the path, the flute plays the music, and the drive of romantic love breaks the cycle. That is the pointed truth of White Snake Afloat. To save the future, you must protect the line of the heart against every circle that tries to close you in. Close your eyes. Go inward. Past the noise of the world into the silent pulse of your own blood. Visualize a circle, the golden bowl of the monk, the cage of tradition. It is the logic of perfect order that refuses to change in your own life. It is the stagnation of the expected, a cycle that offers safety but denies the breath of new life. Now, feel the awakening of the snake within you. This is not a fleeting feeling. It is an ancient longing, a primal, focused flame, an eternal light that has burned for 1,000,000 years. A force designed to focus every drop of your spirit onto one specific soul. This is the snake, the coiling, unstoppable, unbound line. She is the great tide of the heart. She does not seek shelter. She does not seek the logic of the shore. She is the sacred thread that weaves the future, the heat that keeps the world alive when the winter is long. There is a voice in your head, the voice of pragmatism. It is the sister, Shao Qing. She speaks of utility. She speaks of the strength that can be measured. She warns you that the heart is too fragile to protect you. But look at the snake. She refuses to be looped back into the monk's circle. She chooses the bond over the safety of the cage. She knows a truth older than the stars. The future cannot be born inside a perfect circle. It requires the line. Breathe in the line of the heart. It is the needle that finds the path. It is the flute that plays the music. The power of this bond is the only thing sharp enough to puncture the dogma that tries to keep you still. Without this bond, there is no future. Without this wild, focused line, the cycle never breaks. As you return, remember the truth. The future is not found in the safety of the circle. The future is the snake. Protect the line of your heart against every circle that tries to close you in.
Fire song of the golden bow, a perfect circle to catch my soul. He offered me peace in a sacred bound, with my spirit tethered to the hallowed ground. Stay in the loop where the mind is clear, where the pulse of the morning is all you fear. But I saw the cage in the shadow it threw, a garden of stone where nothing is new. Then I heard the song of the gray frontier, the voice of my sister, the language of fear. She offered me safety and utility and stone to keep the winter out, but stay alone is too weak for the weight you carry, a shadow of dust that you shouldn't marry. She drew a line in the shade shifting sand and offered me a cold and steady hand. But I feel a thread that needles through the dark, an unyielding fire, a singular spark. I am the coiling line that refuses the ring, the ancient song that the hidden things sing. I choose no safety, I choose the blood, the river that rises in a holy flood. I am the sacred knot, the hallowed tide, the reason the light never leaves the eye. I don't need the armor, I don't need the blade to break the cycle that the shadows made. I have the needle to find the way, the flute to turn the night into day. A single breath through this hollow reed is all the rebellion my soul will need. The future is not in their perfect bloom, nor in the safety of a silent group. It's in this wild entwined bond that reaches for the light in the great beyond. So let the circle break and the walls fall down. I have found the grace that the heart has found. I am the light, I break the ring. Listen to the song that the deep waters bring. The heart is the needle, the love is the key. Finally, finally free.